What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. On this installment, I'm going to continue working on the floor for the rear of the Veloster. I've only been out here for a couple minutes this morning, started to work on it. I've marked my 1-inch mark back from the original wheel well edge and frame edge on both sides. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and then I'm also going to trim the front of the frame rails. I just got done taking some measurements inside the car and on the floor, and I figured out where I can shorten the frame rails to where it'll still be where it needs to be in the car. And I'm going to show you that. So what I've done is I've marked 1 inch back all the way around the wheel well, all the way up into here. I did the same over there. And then what I've determined is that I can actually cut the frame rail off. I can cut all this off from here forward on both sides. I need to be 22.5 inches from the front of the fender well to the front of the frame rail. So now that I'll do that, that'll shorten up the frame rails. It'll also get my fender wells narrower. Now I'm gonna have to remove this piece that I cut out, because this was the rear shelf that went across between the two wheel wells. And because the Veloster is a hatchback, it doesn't have that. So I have to remove this piece right here. I got to do the same over there. I got to remove that piece right there. And then once I do that, then I'll start modifying the fender well to get it to roll where I need it to roll. All right, guys, I just got done putting my slots into the fender wells so that I can roll them over. Did it on both sides. I tried to minimize how many cuts I'm doing. I mean, hopefully it will bend where I need it to. If I have to, I'll put another cut in the center. I don't think that'll have to, but we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, it is the next morning. I had to stop working on this yesterday. I didn't have to stop working on this yesterday, but I stopped working on the Veloster yesterday so that I could help out one of my followers from this channel. A guy named Alex had built a B7 2.7 T-swap, and helping him out with a few things. He wanted to see if I could dump the Nefarious Motorsports Stage 1 tune that was free to everybody off the website. So I went up to meet him at the gas station and load that software onto his ECU. I was trying to burn a different ECU for him and couldn't get it to get into boot mode. Got one of them to go into boot mode, but it wouldn't take the tune. I don't know what's going on, so I just dropped the tune straight onto his ECU instead of giving him a backup ECU. If he brings me another ECU later, I'll put a factory tune on it. But it's the first time I've actually met somebody that's done one of these builds in person, following my videos, and thought it was pretty cool. So I broke away from the Veloster and went and helped him out, and now I'm back out here on the Veloster. So I'm gonna flip around, show you where I'm at, show you what I need to do to continue, and that's where we're gonna go. So yesterday I was able to get all of this flared in 1 inch on both sides. I've shortened the frame rails where they need to be shortened to. The last little bit of the time lapse you were seeing right before I stopped working on the car was I was trying to get measurements from this frame rail to that frame rail over there, so I can figure out what my distance needs to be inside the car, where my seams are going to be, where I'm going to be able to join the rails together, and all that good stuff. So I think I've got a good game plan as far as where I need to put it. So I'm going to get back into the car. Let me lift the hatch up. So I'm gonna get back in the car, and I'm gonna start cutting these corners out right here where I need to cut them out on both sides. Once I get those cut out, I'm gonna start trying to fit the floor into the car. I'm hoping to have the floor in the car. I don't know if I'll have it in there today, but hopefully next weekend I'll have the floor at least partially welded in here. I don't know that I'll have it all the way welded in, but I'm trying to have it at least partially installed by the end of next weekend. And then if I can get that completely installed and get all of that filled in, then I can start mounting the rear axle, gas tank, fuel lines, brake lines, and all that good stuff. So let's get out. All right, guys, so I've got the frame rail's rough cut for both sides. I still got to do my final adjustments when I get the floor up here. So now I'm gonna go try and get the floor to sit in here and see what else I need to do. All right, guys, I don't want to gross anybody out, but I just hurt myself, just cut my leg pretty bad. I had my safety glasses on for once, and my grinder came out of my hands while I was cutting part of the car, and it cut my leg pretty good, and it cut my shin pretty good, but it cut the upper part of my leg, and yeah. I'm gonna flip it around just so if you don't like blood, don't look at this. So I just got nailed pretty good, hit me twice there, and then hit me across the front of my tattoo right there. But I was cutting on the car, and the grinder caught and yanked out of my freaking hands, and when it released from the car, it fell right on my leg. It cut through my jeans, cut my leg, and then it bounced off the ground and bounced up and hit my shin and cut my shin. So right now my son's trying to go see if we've got any alcohol or peroxide so I can clean this thing out. It's not deep. It's a superficial wound, but I don't want it to get infected. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I've been working on this sucker all freaking day. Hurt myself, but I finally got it in the car. That was a ton of work, and I still have a ton of work left to do to get it completely fitting correctly. But the wheel arches are lining up really good. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of fitting to this side because of right here. Because the wheel arches sit forward for a little bit further, and the gas tank on the Genesis was sitting forward a little bit, about 2 inches further forward. So I'll have to modify that a little bit. I think with my overhang that I left, I should have enough meat there to weld onto there, and I shouldn't even have to make a patch panel. But on the other wheel arch, it looks like it's lining up perfect. So the wheel arch is lining up really freaking good. It's level all the way across. So it starts to dive out right there, and it starts to dive out back here, which is, I knew it was going to do that. But everything's looking good so far. So I'm gonna have to, I am going to cut the back of this so that I can use the back of the Veloster pan so that I can have all this line up now that I've looked at it and seen what I need to do. And this is just held in with 2 freaking bolts on that side, 3 on that side. They're not even screwed into anything. It's just the weight of the pan is holding them. And I've got my safety chain hooked up in case it fell off the jack stands. I don't have any weight on this, but with the jack stands sitting as far forward as they are right now, I was worried that the thing could fall off the back, and I didn't want to be underneath it and it fall. So I've had it hooked up to the safety chain the whole day. Now, the reason I did not record all the stuff that I was doing, because I was doing a lot of dangerous stuff, and I don't want YouTube to take my video down because of all the dangerous stuff I was doing, so I just figured I wouldn't show that. Plus I injured myself, and I don't want to show that because they might tag it for graphic violence or something, so I don't want to cause any problems. But looks like everything's going along perfectly according to my plans. I still got to raise the front of the pan up about a ½ inch, maybe an inch, and I'll still have to tweak and modify to get it exactly where it needs to be, but I'm really freaking close now. So I'll keep tweaking it in, and then after I get it spot welded in a couple places, I'll do another capture and show you guys where I'm at. All right, guys, so I've got the floor fit temporarily. So what I want to do is I've got a lot of maneuverability with where I can put the floor at now that I've got it set up the way that I've got it set up. So I want to put the rear axle with the tires underneath the car, set it down onto the subframe, and make sure that the wheels are in the center of the arches, because I can move it forward or backwards, maybe an inch plus or minus front or back, so I can make sure that it's in the dead center of the arches in the back. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I will be doing a test fit showing the rear axle on the back. So it looks like the wheel's going to be pretty centered. I'm going to put the rear bumper on and make sure. I might need to go back a little bit, but it looks pretty good so far. All right, so I do need to go back a little bit. Looks like I need to go back about an inch. So yeah, won't be an issue. I'll trim another inch off the back edge of it over here on the back end. And I haven't cut the floor in the front, so I can just slide it back. And I haven't welded anything in yet. That's the whole reason I haven't welded anything in yet. Well, guys, I don't know if I should even worry about this now. Might be funny to take it up there after I get this done, but they might flag it. So, but yeah, got another thing about the anti-lock brake system. But doesn't matter because I'm not running that unit anyway. I'm running the Genesis unit. All right, so I just adjusted the back of the floor. It looks a lot more centered, but it looks like I still need to go back that way, maybe another 1/4 of an inch. But I cut the whole back part of the floor off. I've got it held up with a ratchet strap right now, but I still got room to sink it back. But it's pretty close now, so I'll tweak it a little bit more and then I'll start freaking sticking this thing in. All right, everybody, I got the axle sitting where it needs to be sitting now on both sides. I've actually already started welding it into the back of the car. I do want to ask everybody's opinion. Do you like the orange wheels better or the silver wheels better? Because I took the black wheels off because one of them's broken. But I've got all 4 orange ones and I've got all 4 silver ones. So let me know in the comments which one y'all think looks better. I mean, obviously I'll redo the orange if I keep the orange on here, but the gray ones are basically sandblasted and primed, and these had orange plasti dip on them. They're actually black wheels underneath, but I'll completely strip them and repaint them orange or gold, whatever color you want to call that, and if that looks better. But I've started welding the floor in. I got to weld this side in. So I'm going to finish welding the driver's side in, trying to make sure everything's square and true. And once I start welding the driver's side in, that's going to get it to where all I got to do is do all the final burn in on all the rest of the floor, and I'll have to make this back panel that goes up against the back of the car right here. So I still haven't figured out if I'm going to cut the piece off the back of the Veloster right there, or if I'm going to section in that piece right there that I cut off of the Genesis. But I do not have the coil springs in here right now, because I wanted to weld the floor in before I tried to force the coil springs in here. So the wheels are going to sit lower, or it's going to raise the car up a little bit when I put the springs in here. But yeah, it's sitting right in the dead center. So I'm going to go ahead and burn all this in and carry on. All right, everybody, this is probably where I'm going to end the video for this week. Hopefully next week I'll have the whole floor completely welded in, all the front frame rail work done to it, where I'm joining the frame rails together, the rear floor and the front floor. I'll have hopefully be able to mount the gas tank, the evap canister, the fuel on brake lines for the rear, and basically get the entire back of the car done. And then I'll start being able to take measurements for the drive shaft, and I'll be able to start modifying the exhaust to get it to the proper length. And then once I do that, then all the work continues with the interior and the front of the car. The backs, basically, once I get this floor in, everything bolts back in the way that it was in the Genesis. It should be straightforward, really easy to put everything together on the back. So it's going way faster than I anticipated, but this is a good thing. So hopefully the end of the next video, I'll have the entire back of the car all the way together. And but we'll find out in the next video. So if you like what you saw, like always, please like, comment, share, subscribe, let your friends see what I'm doing. And I'll check you in the next video. Have a great one.